Hi, my name is Karl. I am the creator of Nomis, an entry into the 360 iDev Game Jam in the year 2011, held in Denver, Colorado. I made this game in about 7 hours from 11 p.m. until almost 6 in the morning. And what Nomis is it's the old game Simon, where you tap out a pattern of colored lights, but it's Simon backwards. So you can see here, blue, blue, orange. That's the pattern. So to get it right, you do the opposite, which would be orange, orange, blue. The whole concept of the game is to teach people the color wheel and kind of teach you where the different colors are lined up at, um, because that was the theme of the contest, was opposite. So I thought, oh, opposite colors, and you can see eventually I'd like the game to be, involve 4 or 6 colors. So you'd learn like blue and orange are the opposites, and yellow and purple are the opposites. It's a good way to learn the color wheel. That's the reason why this game exists. So hopefully it hits the mark on that and teaches some people about the color wheel. Hello, this is Karl Becker, and I created Nomis, a game for the 360 iDev Game Jam in 2011 in Denver, Colorado. I'm the president of KB Productions, based out of Iowa, but location really doesn't matter these days. That's Iowa, USA, in the middle of the country. And I just thought I'd record a little voiceover over this snapshot of development in making the game. Nomis is essentially the game of Simon, where there were multiple colors and you had to remember a pattern, and it's spelled backwards. It's Simon spelled backwards, and the gameplay is backwards. You see a pattern, and then you have to duplicate it backwards, duplicate it in the reverse of what was shown to you. You have to first figure that out because the game doesn't really tell you, and then you also have to go through the difficult mental exercise of tapping the opposite of what you just remembered. It was really a thing I was intended to teach people how to, or teach people about the color wheel, so that you'd remember, green, green, red, green, and you'd remember red, red, green, red. So you would start to associate, oh, like red and green are opposites of each other. And also in the game, eventually it would go to 4 colors and then 6 colors. And then you'd really start remembering, oh, blue and orange, and purple and yellow, and then different shades of those, just to teach people the color wheel. Because I don't know if people really know it. They know it's a rainbow, but I don't know if they remember which color is opposite to which, and eventually it could get to complementary colors and all these other things. So I took a screencast that turned out to be like 35 gigs for 4 hours, roughly 4 hours of development time, and I'm just going to make comments on it as I see myself going here. I started at 11 p.m., maybe a little bit after that, and ended just a little bit before 6 a.m. in the morning, and then I got about 3 hours of sleep and went for a run after that. I was running on Red Bull, I think, at that point, even though I got some sleep. But yeah, you can see that I'm... And I was curious to take this screen cap too to see how much of my time I was spent in Xcode, how much in the simulator, how much looking up stuff on web pages, how much doing artwork like I'm doing right here. Wow, this will actually probably take quite a while. And boy, I really bounce around. I started doing a little bit of artwork, and then all of a sudden, whoop, back to Xcode, and oh, gotta look up how to do something. I can see that I'm maybe a little bit scattered in my development process here, but especially under the circumstances, it's just one big time crunch trying to make a game in about 12 hours. I mean, it's very difficult to do. So I'm guessing one thing I didn't do was waste time, though. This is probably some of the most productive coding I've done in quite a while, because you're in a room with a bunch of other coders. You want to get this done, partially so you can go to bed, partially just so you have something reasonably decent to show everybody assembled there. 360 iDev was great. It was a fantastic conference. Learned a lot, met a lot of great people, and the latter part was the best part. You meet a lot of people. A lot of respected developers are there. and you know, you'll just get to chat with them, you know, see what it is that they do. It's really enjoyable. It was a really good conference, and so of course I didn't want to have something bad to show everybody, and I wanted to make a game. I really wanted to use this as an excuse to just make an iOS game, because I haven't done that yet, and I've always been a pretty big fan of making games, so just have been doing utility stuff instead. So I thought, hey, this is a good excuse. Hopefully I don't get sick, which I didn't, even though I stayed up till like 6 a.m. So here you can see, yeah, that really surprised me, that I just started doing something on this picture, and then and this picture, I mean, I didn't even use it really in the final game. I used it as the splash screen that gets shown for a fraction of a second. So that was probably time that would have been better spent. I mean, look at this. I'm formatting it for the right size and everything, but looks like it didn't take too long in the grand scheme of things. And still, you wonder, you know, how much other coding could have got done, or how much earlier could I have gone to bed if I hadn't done that. So yeah, I'm seeing, actually seeing a lot of, it looks like I'm copying and pasting a lot, which, you know, granted, there's going to be some of that, especially in a project that goes fast like this. But it seems like I'm going boom, 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 boom. I'm changing things quite often. Now here, I think this is some of the latter part of the development where I'm actually making the levels. So there should be some copy and pasting to that, where I'm going, all right, level 1 is just the same as level 2, except the colors are different. And in fact, yeah, there was some play testing of it. And that was essentially the early prototype. It's very interesting to see this, how it went from, you know, a couple ugly blocks of color that were just splashing to, and a nasty table view at the beginning. I mean, I'm talking about maybe 2 hours until I went to bed now. Probably more like an hour and a half. And the game really didn't look very good at all, and just plain wasn't done. Wasn't really playable at this point. But you can see now I got color changing working. So for about, you know, 3 hours before this, I was getting some of the building blocks in place, a lot of the base classes. I mean, you can see some of them there. There's I think I called it SG. I think I used as a prefix for all these classes. And hopefully I can, yeah, or NG. I guess I'm not really sure why, and I had reasoning at the time, but yeah, and this, so we can see I'm just running and debugging a lot right now. So there's a lot of time spent in debug, which, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, what does that mean in my normal course of development? I just recently decided to go independent full time. So I'm doing this software development gig full-time on my own, and of course I can do a little bit of artwork. As you can see, it's not great. It's maybe a little better than typical programmer artwork, but I really like doing this kind of stuff, and that's pretty much why I went independent. So I am eventually will be up for hire, but not quite yet. But if you want to contact me, go for it. Well, oh, and I did some interesting searching there. That's a little scary. Well, thankfully this is fairly low res when it's posted to YouTube. Hopefully I didn't search for anything bad there. But I can see that towards the end of this, a lot of it was just polishing up, and I'll need to watch it one more time to see exactly, you know, where I was wasting the biggest amount of time. It seems like a lot of this, though, is spent in the simulator, which it would be really nice if I could just have an automated test suite. And that's one thing I came out of 360 IDEV with, was the Phone Monkey, a really nice automated test suite of just to automate user interface testing. And it seems to be that's what I'm doing a lot on this project, is just automated or user interface testing, making sure the game plays right. Now granted, could I have, you know, did I really lose that much time by doing it this way? Well, I'm thinking I did. The more that I'm watching it, and here, now everything stopped. I must have gotten up from my seat In fact, I think I do remember getting up and then just, talking with people, taking a break. I don't think I used the bathroom at all during this entire development. But yeah, I must be either showing people, I don't know, I was talking with people there though for sure. And now I am faking screenshots for the end of the game that I didn't even get to demo, which was too bad, but nobody really knew what the demo would be like, except maybe people that had done it in the past. Yeah, but a lot of polish at this point. So I guess really it seems like half of my time was spent making assets, and half my time, maybe a little less than half, and then a little more than half of my time was spent coding. And in fact, I think actually it might even be more like 40% coding, 25%, maybe 30% testing, and then 30% making assets and just wiring stuff up. So trying to think how best to optimize that for future development. And I think automating user interface testing would definitely be a part of that. This is not an advertisement for anything. It's just me thinking about it as I'm watching it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. It's getting close to being done. And you can see that's pretty much the end result there. I had some shading and did some kind of dot theme with the art. Yeah, looks like... Yep, and I even was keeping track of things in there we go. The app Things, the Mac app. Really useful program for just keeping track of stuff. Whether it's things you have to do or things you want to do. Just really open-ended. It's a nice way to work, in my opinion. So hey, follow me on Twitter at karlbecker_com, Karl with a K, Becker with a B as in Bravo, or check out my website, karlbecker.com, yeah, those are the best ways to get to me. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you learned something. Let me know what other things you might have in mind, what other kind of screencasts you'd like to see. Thanks a lot.